of the National School District Governing Board. We welcome you here. I'm calling the meeting to order. And I would like to ask Sofia Hernandez and Liam Partosan to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. They're going to make their way over to the microphone for just a moment, and then they get to give us instructions.
Please stand up, put your right hand over your heart, ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Sofia and Liam. Will you please call the roll?
Ms. Sarmiento.
Present.
Ms. Avalos.
Here.
Ms. Jennifer Castañeda.
Present.
Ms. Zárraga.
Present.
Ms. Gates.
Present. Before we get started, I would like to ask us to have a moment of silence. Two of our board members since our last meeting lost family members. And so for Mrs. Sarmiento and the loss of her son, Michael Graham, we want to take a moment to honor his life and to honor her as his mom. And for Rosina Lizárraga, and in the loss of her sister, Socorro Diaz, we want to take a moment and honor them. Thank you. We are going to begin with presentations tonight. And our first presentation is by El Toyon School students. Welcome to the board meeting, everybody.
If I can have this young students come on up. You did it earlier this way. Okay. Mr. Kokenis couldn't be here tonight. He had to have a medical procedure, but it's my Madam President, Executive Cabinet, members of the board. It's my pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Kokenis' fourth grade students, who are going to be presenting what they are doing to illuminate human potential to positively impact the world by focusing on global goal number 12, responsible consumption and production.
Good evening, Board of Trustees. My name is Sophia, and I'd like to tell you about how the students at El Toyon School try to make the earth a better place to live. El Toyon students have been doing this for a long time. Mr. Kokenis has been recycling with his students for many years, and Ms. Ramos has worked hard to make sure we've always had a healthy garden. About 5 years ago, El Toyon adopted the Global Sustainability Goal number 12. Goal number 12 is all about trying to be a responsible citizen. It provides strategies to reduce waste, like using reusable water bottle instead of single-use plastic bottles. And if we do use a plastic bottle, then we make sure we recycle it. Or like making sure our food scraps go into the compost pile or the green waste bin so we don't send it into the landfill. It also guides us to conserve important resources like water because we know in some places there is not enough water for everyone. We even have water shortages where we live in California. But we don't only have to save water, we also need to keep our ocean water clean. Quote number 12 talks about keeping the ocean habitats healthy. This not only helps us reef creatures, but it also helps humans stay healthy too. My classmates will explain a little bit more about some of Eto Yon's global goal projects. Next, my classmate Liam will be talking about composting and reducing waste.
Hello, my name is Liam Jacob Bartosa. I am a fourth grade student in Mr. Kokanis' class. One of El Dayon's important strategies for reducing landfill waste is to collect our fruit and vegetable scraps and feed them to our pet worms. We learned in class that if food waste goes into the landfill, it will create methane gas. But this gas is really strong and is making our planet get too warm. When we compost our food scraps, the worms eat them and it becomes healthy soil for our gardens. El Payan has been doing this for a few years, and when everyone was home over COVID, El Payan students made a video about composting so we could teach our parents and the community about it. 2 years ago, El Payan fourth grade students even wrote letters to Mr. Castillo asking him to place sorting stations at every school so all of the food waste in the district could go to a composting facility. This year, we plan to increase the composting we do at El Payan because we now have so many new garden beds. We want to make enough healthy soil for all of the garden beds. We want to say thank you to the district for building this for us and thank Olivewood Gardens, Mundo Gardens, and BCK programs for teaching us all about gardening and composting. We want to let you know that we are learning all about growing local food that is in season. We will share this information with our parents and the community. When you eat from your own garden or buy something from the store that is in season for where you live, you help reduce pollution. When fruit and vegetables do not have to be trucked across the United States or shipped from another country, we get to stop all of that pollution from getting into the environment. This is another global goal strategy. Next, my classmate Montserrat will be talking about protecting our ocean water.
Hi, my name is Monset. I'd like to tell you how we're protecting our ocean water. Each year, Ocean Connectors teaches every student about marine wildlife. This helps us understand how it is important to protect the sea creatures and birds. For the last 2 years, students have participated in a program called Water Watch. This is a program from BCK and it is sponsored by the Port of San Diego. Because of this special grant, all of the students in the National School District have a chance to learn about how litter and other pollutions enter storm drains and then go right into our waterways. Some of these pollutions are soap, dog waste, and fertilizers. We do experiments in our classroom that help us show that once these pollutions get into the ocean, it is almost impossible to get them out. One of the most common pollutions that go into the ocean is litter. Litter in the ocean harms sea creatures and eventually harms people too. Our global goal 12 makes us focus on protecting our valuable resources and the Water Watch program helps us do that too. Now my classmate Anthony will tell you more about ocean pollution.
Hi, my name is Anthony. I want to tell you a little more about how we learn about ocean pollution. First, we look for the storm drains on our campus and we learn how they are connected to the ocean. We learned that there is no filter in the storm drain system. So anything that goes in the storm drain goes right out the ocean. Next, we check to see if there is litter nearby the storm drain. Spoiler alert, there's always litter near the storm drains. There is even litter that we can see inside the storm drains. So we spread out all over campus and pick up litter before it can get inside the drains. But we also analyze the litter to see where it is coming from. Sometimes we learn that it is coming from construction happening at our schools. Sometimes we learn it is litter from teachers. But most of the time we learn that the litter is coming from us, the students. Since it is coming from us, we need to fix it. And that is exactly what we work on at the end of the project. We come up with ideas about how to teach our friends about why litter on the ground can be a danger. And then we encourage them to pick it up whenever they see it. Thank you for listening to our presentation.
Good afternoon, parents. Good afternoon, our superintendent and board members. I am so proud of these children. Can you believe that? They're learning about growing things. I never learned that when I was in school. I live right across the street from Kimball School. But I know right now, they do have a place next door where they are teaching the families that go and they grow tomatoes, cucumbers, chilies, everything. So maybe a lot of you parents, you have a backyard or a balcony, you could buy one of those little tinas. I don't know how you say that in English. Let's say tinas. Which word? A garden. A tina, that's all I remember. And they could plant little garden, the tomatoes and chilies and cucumbers. I think that would be great. I'm so proud of our students and proud of our school, especially because we are teaching these children how to get along when we don't have to go out and buy tomatoes and cucumbers. We could grow them in our own backyard. And chilies, of course, right? Yes. Because we like chili salsa. So that would be great. So on behalf of the board and our superintendent and all of us here, and every principal and every educator that's here that is doing a wonderful job, this is for you, Anthony Valderrama. And Masarati Valenciano. She goes, is that me? Here you go. Thank you so much, Eva. And Diham Orsan. And Sofia Hernandez. Thank you so much.
No, let me do the certificates next. Here you go. Parents, teachers. Come on up.
Teachers.
Parents, teachers. Go. Come on up. Stand behind your child.
Go Palmer way. I'll show you.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, wonderful. Thank you for that presentation.
Yeah, now as an adult, we know what to do now, okay? To check on that.
All right. How many people learned something new just now? Yes. And I think we just got called out on our trash and our litter and our storm drains. So, Dr. Braden.
I have a sixth grade superintendent student roundtable, and we work on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And to the students that presented today, I am so impressed with the work that you're already doing in fourth grade that I hope that you'll consider serving on as an ambassador to your school and an advisor to me when you get into your sixth grade year, so we can continue to grow and add to the work that you're doing at your school. Thank you so much for presenting to all of these adults tonight. Wonderful job.
I always wondered, I feel like these first meetings that we have, the kids always do such a great job. It's not that the rest of them don't, but the early meetings make you nervous because like you're the first ones to go. And you guys did really, really well. I think I'm more nervous doing this than you are doing that. So you did a great job. Item 5B is to recognize Johnny De Jesus, El Toyon School, as a National School District Shine Volunteer. Mr. Denegri.
Thank you. John, if you want to stand next to me. There was a time not so long ago that I could do this without glasses. When I first began as principal of El Toyon, just at the start of the 2023-2024 school year, one of the first people to truly make an impact on me was Johnny De Jesus. From the moment I arrived, Johnny went out of his way to assist me, ensuring that my transition as a new principal was as smooth as possible. He had a genuine willingness to help, a dedication to the school, and he immediately stood out to me. He has been an incredible support not only to me, but to the entire El Toyon community. Johnny has consistently proven to be an outstanding parent volunteer. He's always ready to lend a hand whenever needed. In the classroom, he's constantly there. He supports teachers and students with enthusiasm and is very caring. Whether he's helping organize materials, stepping in to assist with various classroom activities or school functions, Johnny's always reliable, and we can always count on him to be in there. Teachers also appreciate his professionalism, knowing that they can always count on him to help things run smoothly. One of Johnny's greatest strengths is his ability to connect with students. We were just talking, he just walked in because he also helps coach Little League. So that's where he ran from here to here. So we appreciate you coming. His approachable and kind demeanor fosters a supportive atmosphere where students feel comfortable seeking help and guidance. He encourages them. His efforts also build confidence and positive behavior in our students. In addition to his classroom contribution, Johnny is a key figure in organizing and supporting school-wide events, from assisting with logistics during school festivals, organizing events such as our Read Across America Days. Johnny can always be there to, Johnny's commitment and dedication is always seen. So since the moment I arrived as principal, he has gone above and beyond to support our school and to support me as well. So it is for these reasons that we selected Johnny De Jesus to be El Toyon Parent Volunteer of the Year. Thank you.
Hello, board. Hello, everyone here in attendance. Just want to say thank you and welcome, and I'm truly appreciated for this recognition, and it's truly deserved. Thank you so much.
Well, it is very much deserved. As I was
ready to present. I was looking around, I thought you weren't gonna make it. I said, oh no, he's gotta be here, we can't not present it to you. But yes, as I see, when I'm around the community, I see Johnny everywhere. Because you are around and you do a lot, not just for your site, but in the community. So thank you so much for all the work that you do. As I say all the time, it's a very thankless job, but thank you for all that you do. And thank you to your family, because it is time taken away from your family. But I know that your family comes along with you a lot of times. So thank you to them as well. But on behalf of the governing board and Catherine, I would like to present you with this. And for all the running around you do, dehydrated. Because we do not want you to pass out on us. You do everywhere. But again, thank you so much for all that you do. And I know that our children benefit not just at Alcion, but in our entire district. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And then we go to the front and then we'll go to the front and then adjourn. And then your Alcion family can join us.
So today, my mother, Claudia, and my daughter, Rosalie, and Jonathan are here today.
And that's a very good example of volunteerism, right?
Yes.
And our fourth graders, Rosalie was on the superintendent student roundtable before she went to middle school, so she can tell you what it's like.
Mama has to be in the middle.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
And don't go anywhere. All right, item 5C is to recognize Jesus Valdez Custodian Day, Las Palmas School, as the National School District Employee of the Month for October 2024. Principal Walter Hicks.
Good evening, President Gates and members of the board, Superintendent Brady, Executive Cabinet. I am Berenice Walker. I'm the very proud principal at Las Palmas Elementary, and I am so honored to be here to recognize this amazing gentleman here who plays such an important role at Las Palmas Elementary, our daytime custodian, Don Jesus Valdez. Don Jesus has been with the National School District for over 20 years. And we have been fortunate to have him at Las Palmas for the last 2 years, and I don't know how we functioned without him. There is a well-known story about President John F. Kennedy visiting NASA during the 1960s. And during this tour, he asked the custodian what he was doing, and the custodian replied, "I'm helping put a man to the moon." That story truly reminds me of Don Jesus, because he approaches his work with the same sense of pride and purpose. Don Jesus knows that the work he does, though it's often behind the scenes, is essential to our school and to our students. He is always 2 steps ahead of everyone. He's constantly anticipating the school's needs, my needs, everybody's needs, preparing for upcoming meetings or activities. In fact, the first time I met him, he was visiting Las Palmas prior to him being transferred over from El Toyon. We stole him. And you can't have him back. No, and I actually met him because he came over as a head start just to get to know the school and to be familiarized with himself. So that shows you just how much he was ready to get in there and truly take charge. Don Jesus takes immense pride in maintaining a clean and organized campus, a welcoming campus, and fully understanding the impact of his work that he has on his students' education and the overall success
of not just of our school, but of our community at large. He does take on wide-ranging tasks from decluttering forgotten corners in classrooms, ensuring that our campus is safe for all of our students and staff. And he even makes sure that I have always taken time to eat and have my coffee every morning. His efforts create an environment where both the students and staff can thrive and they can truly shine. I am honored to have had the opportunity to work with him at Las Palmas. Gracias, Don Jesús, por todo lo que hace por nuestra comunidad y estoy muy agradecida por su esfuerzo y su dedicación. Gracias. He told me ahead of time that he did not want to speak.
We can speak for you. You see all the good work that I said for you on behalf of the governing board and the rest of the people that Don Jesus is there. So I'm very honored to present this Employee That Want to Work for Mr. Jesus Valdez, recognizing and your noteworthy contribution to our children and families in the National School District. Congratulations, Don Jesus. Have a picture.
And
Bravo again.
¿La familia? Pasen. Come on, Valdez family. Enfrente de ustedes,
show this. All right. Item 5D is to introduce and welcome the new employees. Dr. Keppen is at a conference, so I will be going ahead and reading the names and giving you the information. We have some employees who are here, and I'm going to go ahead and read their names first and have them come on up to Trustee Lizarraga as we go. Hein Falconer, Resource Specialist Teacher, District. Falconer has more than 5 years of teaching experience. She received her bachelor's degree in psychology from Arizona State University and a master's in childhood education and special education from Toro Graduate School of Education. Welcome.
Yay.
Jessica Navarra, Coordinator, Early Childhood Program, District Office. Ms. Navarra has more than 3 years of coordinator experience and more than 19 years of teaching experience. She received her bachelor's in liberal studies from California State San Marcos, her master's in education from National University, and her administrative services credential from San Diego State University. Welcome. Diana Gordy, Campus Student Safety Assistant, Ira Harbison School. Ms. Gordy worked as an office administrator for a housekeeping business. She graduated from Sweetwater High School here. Stephen Perez, Custodian Knight, Ira Harbison School. Mr. Perez currently works as a substitute custodian for National School District and for South Bay Union School Districts. He holds an associate degree in liberal arts from Southwestern College, Chula Vista. They take pictures of you too, so. There's someone else. Rachel. Oh, so it's Rachel. Rachel. Good, thank you. Rachel, I apologize, Rachel Ricker. Coordinator of Multi-Tiered System of Support, District Office. Ms. Ricker has more than 7 years of teaching experience. She received her bachelor's degree in development studies, education, and her master's in educational leadership from the University of California, Berkeley. By chance, did any of our other employees come tonight?
Congratulations.
Welcome to the family. Thank you so much. We have 3 other employees who were not able to be here tonight, but I'll read their information to you as well. Natasha Thompson, teacher special day class, Ira Harbison School. Ms. Thompson has more than 6 years of teaching experience. She received her bachelor's degree in interdisciplinary social sciences and her master's degree in special education from the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Ms. Thompson also holds an administrative credential from the University of Southern California, Los Angeles. Jillian Blakeman, temporary classroom teacher, Rancho de la Nacion School. Ms. Blakeman completed her student teaching with Rolando Park Elementary. She received her bachelor's degree in liberal studies from San Diego State University. And Arcelia Alvarez Duarte, instructional assistant healthcare, district roving. Ms. Alvarez Duarte has worked as food sales representative and as sales representative for more than 4 years. She taught English as a second language to children ages 8 to 12 years old. She holds a bachelor's degree in industrial technology from Escuela Normal Hermosillo, Mexico. So, Julian Bateman. It's not on the agenda, so you're right. I don't know how it's, we'll see if we can welcome them next time. Thank you. So for those of you who are here and came for presentations, we are happy to have you stay. If you choose to go home, because kids, you need to make sure your parents go home and do their chores. So if you choose to go home, feel free now. We will be moving to the business portion of the evening. And again, you are welcome to stay. We're happy to have you, but if you need to get home to those chores, you go right ahead. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And then there's that.
Thank you for being
All right. So, just for the record, I apologize, we had someone whose information listed, we will make that, correction on our next agenda. Item 6 is public communications. Public communication provides the public with an opportunity to address the board regarding an item on the agenda or other topic. Anyone wishing to address the board shall submit a request for oral communications card. Cards are available near the entrance to the boardroom and are to be submitted to the recording secretary. A member of the public who wishes to address the board on any such matter is limited to 3 minutes for one matter, up to a maximum of 5 minutes for all closed and open session matters. There shall be a limit of 20 minutes for any matter unless such time limit is waived by a majority vote of the board. Members of the public may not yield any time to other speakers. No board action can be taken. Do we have any speakers tonight? Thank you. Item 7, the agenda. Item 7A, to accept the agenda. Do I have a motion?
I got my wine bottle.
Just
kidding.
Do I have a second?
I second the motion.
Any questions regarding the agenda or comments? Okay. Then I have a motion by trustee Bettencourt Castañeda, a second by trustee Lizarraga. Please vote.
Item passes unanimously.
Okay, thank you. Item 8, approved consent agenda, routine items of business. All items listed under the consent agenda are considered routine and will be acted upon in one action by the board. It is understood that the superintendent has recommended approval for these items. There will be no discussion prior to the time the board votes on the motion unless members of the board, staff, or public request specific items to be discussed and are removed from the consent agenda. All items approved by the board will be deemed considered in full and adopted as recommended. Do I have a motion?
I make the motion with discussion.
A second?
I second the motion.
Thank you. Okay.
And I make a motion with, I would like to pull an item.
Yes, thank you. May I ask which item?
The minutes.
The minutes.
They were just incomplete. I just wanted to add something to the minutes.
Okay,
Which, they're in general function.
this time because of trustee Sarmiento and I not being here. They usually are in there.
Okay,
Okay,
I apologize.
that's all right. So no amendment? Okay, thank you.
I'm just used to the reading and the,
Yeah.
just kept going.
So I have a motion to approve by trustee Bettencourt Castañeda with a second by trustee Avalos. Please vote.
Item passes unanimously.
Item 9 is general functions. 9A, to approve the minutes of the regular board meeting held on September 11th, 2024.
With discussion, please. I second the motion.
Okay. All right. And just for clarity's sake, trustee Sarmiento and I will not be voting on this because we were not here for this meeting. Trustee Bettencourt Castañeda.
I just, on my comments, my word just incomplete. I would really just like to ensure that I gave my thank you to the staff and to the teachers on my comments for all their dedication and hard work for what for my children's education. that was omitted, and that was something that I really wanted to have included, and that was not included. So,
Are there any other comments from the three individuals who were here? Anything that any other changes or additions?
I don't know if you wanted me to notate what part of the meeting it was, I know, but if that is helpful, I don't know.
Sure.
It's on one, 1.57.50 on the meeting. I can tell you later if you want me to. Okay.
Are you talking about the minutes?
She's talking about the timestamp,
The time?
In the timestamp, but it,
157.
All right, so I have a motion by trustee Bettencourt Castaneda with an amendment. Trustee Avalos, are you willing to accept the amendment of the additional comment regarding staff and teachers' dedication and hard work towards their own children?
Yeah, I think it's sometimes impossible to remember what everybody said at that time when she writes out the minutes. You know, I know it's recorded, so probably it was just an error of what happened, because we say so much, you know, so.
But you're
This is
willing to?
fine to be amended.
Okay, thank you very much. So we have an amendment, and that has been approved by the person who made the motion and by the person who seconded. So, to approve the amended minutes, trustee Bettencourt Castaneda made the motion, trustee Avalos seconded. Please vote. Oh, I was supposed to abstain. I apologize.
We'll start over.
and I just wanted to make sure I clarify the reason for it is because as a district, the reason for that, as we're an education district, and the focus of that was their education. And we do so much for our students. And I want to give the kudos where the kudos is deserved. And that's the reason why. It's no disrespect for the people doing the minutes. So I'm not trying to focus on any errors. It's not an error. I just want to make sure that it's documented, that our educators are doing a phenomenal job for our students. And I want to make sure it's documented. So it's no disrespect to anybody, but I want to make sure that our teachers, our educators, our staff are given the credit for all the hard work that's being done for our students. It's not one student, it's so many students in our district.
Yeah.
So that was the reason for that, because it is something that oftentimes our educators are not always given the credit where credit is due. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we redo that so I correct myself, please? I apologize.
We just have to get the first and the second.
Okay. Trustee Avalos for the second. Yes, because I messed up.
Okay. There we go. Item passes 3 yes, 2 abstain.
Okay, item 9B is to approve the minutes of the special board meeting held on September 16th, 2024. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Have a second.
All right, and we had 3 members present for that. So any questions from the 3 who were here? Okay. So I have a motion by trustee Avalos, a second by trustee Bettencourt Castaneda. Please vote.
Question before that. Because I was not on the special board meeting, should I abstain from that? Okay, just to try to.
Item passes 3 yes, 2 abstain.
Okay. And for item 9C, I will need to step out of the room.
Should I put it? Or not? Oh. I got it right here. As a board clerk designee for the board president, which is this item is related to, we're gonna adopt the resolution, the 1999C for 24-25.10 regarding the absence of board president Mrs. Gates due to illness. Do I have a vote? I'll make a motion, sorry.
I second the motion.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay, go ahead and vote.
Can you hit recuse for her?
I can't. I would have to start over. She had to recuse before.
Before that? So should I start over again?
I will.
Okay, you reset.
Can you do the recuse now, or do you want me to go to her?
I would just reset it. You can recuse for her. Okay, can we do the first
So
and
her
second?
first motion by? First voter,
Ms. Alvarez, can you second?
first and second, please.
Yeah. I'm making it.
Yeah, you got it.
Good.
Now I need Ms. Lizarraga, and can you recuse from Ms.
Sure.
Gates?
Recuse?
Doesn't have to recuse on it.
Or maybe abstain?
Recuse, it says recuse
Yeah.
0. I found the abstain. Green, yeah.
We don't have it on.
She said she was. Is that enough? Can you go with that?
So we can make a.
She did a verbal.
Recuse is
Yeah,
count as
we
an
don't
abstain.
have a recuse button, but you can abstain. You can
Can you
record.
do it on your end? Yeah.
You're like a
So Adam passes 3 yes, 1 abstain, and 1 recuse.
Okay.
Thank you. Item 9D, adopt resolution 24-25.11 regarding absence of board member Ms. Alma Sarmiento due to hardship. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
I second the motion.
Do we have any questions? I have a motion to adopt by trustee Avalos with a second by trustee Lizarraga. Please vote.
Item passes 4, I will do this. Sorry, Mr. Mendes. Item passes 4 yes, 1 recuse.
Thank you. Item 10 is with regard to educational services. Ten A is to adopt resolution 24-25.12 proclaiming October 23rd through the 31st, 2024 as Drug Awareness Week, National Red Ribbon Week. Dr. Kraft is also at a conference, so Dr. Brady will be sharing with us.
Sure, well, it's that time of the year again. It's October. All of our roundtable students will be meeting in the next week or so with the American Heart Association and their principal to do a kids health challenge, a healthy challenge in the month of October. They'll be working on tobacco-free, vape-free, drug-free campaigns, as well as cardiac awareness refreshers. So all the 6th graders will be teaching their peers and giving their peers practice in sidewalk CPR, and also having assemblies. They'll be hanging posters, they'll be making pledges, they'll be doing some of the announcements in the morning, just to really raise awareness for these very important things during our Drug Awareness National Red Ribbon Week.
Do I have a motion to adopt the resolution?
I
I
second the
second the
motion.
motion.
All right, any questions? All right, then I have a motion by trustee Benjor Castaneda and a tie by trustee Lizarraga and trustee Avalos. So trustee Lizarraga, push your button, please. And please vote.
Sorry. Item passes unanimously.
Item 10B, approve National City Elementary Teachers Association nomination for the Community Advisory Committee. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve?
I second.
Okay. Dr. Brady?
Yes, as the board is aware, the teacher that was serving on our community advisory committee is no longer teaching in the district. Therefore, with our collective bargaining agreement, we look to NCETA for a nomination. They have nominated Shelby Carswell, very well deserved, and we hope that you will approve the nomination tonight.
Do you have any questions? All right, I have a motion to approve by trustee Lizarraga and a second by trustee Avalos. Please vote.
Item passes unanimously.
Item 11 is Human Resources. 11A, to approve the appointment of peer assistant and review council members. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve. I second the motion.
Dr. Brady?
So I had received a few questions regarding the PAR Council for this item. It's the Peer Assistant and Review Council. Again, this is something that is negotiated with our teachers. And so I have pulled the pertinent pages out of our collective bargaining agreement. For those who are watching who would also like to view this, you can find it on our district website under the Human Resources Department, and then just look for the contract with NCETA. But this article in the contract really spells out how people are selected, what types of qualifications somebody needs to serve as a mentor on the peer advisory committee, or council, sorry. And right now, we don't have a full peer assistant review council, but we do have 2 chairs. They meet regularly. We don't have any participating teachers this year, but should we have teachers participate, we would work to fill out the rest of that council as well.
Okay. Do we have any questions? Okay.
And then just one more thing, these are returning members to the Park Council, and they meet 3 times a year.
So this is only 2 returning ones that is the full council so far. And it
Correct.
says that,
Nominated by NCETA.
and a full council will be 5.
That's correct.
So
We do not have a full council yet, but these 2 have been nominated by NCETA to continue to review, to ensure that there aren't any teachers in need of services. They meet 3 times a year to review the criteria and make sure that they can get their message out to the teachers who might want to participate.
And this is nothing that the district would be bringing forward. This is all NCETA driven.
I believe the district can also add members to the council, but we do not have anybody at this time that's participating in it. So we don't need a full council, but we do need to make sure the information goes to NCTA so that they can advise their members of the ability to serve on PAR. And they do get a small stipend to participate.
How long have you only had 2?
For many, many years now. It was Janice Ireland and Carolyn Kemet for many, many years. And then we were lucky when they retired that Miss Ballasam and Miss Garcia Gallegos stepped up to take it, to But we've also been very lucky with our teachers. We have a very strong teaching force here in National School District, and we have a lot of supports built in with professional development. And people do support each other. The grade level teams support each other, and so we haven't seen a lot of need for PAR, particularly in the last few years.
Like to make the clarification of what PAR is for those people who are listening.
Thank you.
In order to support teachers who may be finding some component of teaching to be challenging for them, first, know that our district is responsible for evaluating any of our staff members. Teachers also are evaluated. It is not a matter of just being hired and then letting them go and then never finding out if they need support or if there's something that is a challenge in the classroom. We do not abandon our teaching staff. And part of that is having the peer assistance and review council in place so that if a teacher actually finds that they are in need of some support, or if it is a recommendation that they have an area to strengthen, that the PAR council is available for that mentorship and guidance for that teacher. And so it is in place as part of contract to make sure that those teachers get support and are not just dropped, if you want to put it that way. And that is what this council is here for, and that is why we look for veteran teachers and teachers who, some 3 designated by the NCETA and 2 designated by the district when we have full council.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes, I do.
Trustee Besaraga?
If anybody else doesn't. Because I understand it that they have, this needs to be, this position for this peer, for this PAR, which is a peer assistant review teacher. It's one part, he needs a consultant teacher, and then both of them, they choose a volunteer teacher. But they will use district resources, what it means for that. So I'm not sure whether they strict research assistant, or they be able to have the capacity to select the participants on the meetings.
So it really depends. So there's lots of different ways that we support our teachers. One is we have our induction. When you're a new teacher, you go through a very similar process to peer assisted review, where you work on lessons, you get feedback from a mentor, you can select your mentor out of a group of people who sign up to be mentors, and then that helps you to clear your credential. You could do it informally if you're struggling, as President Gates was talking about. You could select a mentor, maybe your somebody at your school, maybe your MTSS coordinator could help you, a fellow teacher in your grade level. This is a little more formal, where a teacher would step up and say, you know, I really need some additional help. For example, I know a teacher had gone on maternity leave and stayed home for 10 years. And when they came back, everything was computers and smart boards, and things were very, very different than when they had been teaching. And so they signed up for PAR to kind of have that extra support to get up to speed. But the PAR council would determine how they were going to be supported through that process.
Thank you. I don't want to mislead. If we as teachers also are seen by our principals as struggling in a particular area or weak in a particular area that they feel is impacting student learning or maybe classroom management, they can also recommend a teacher for to go to the PAR council. So it is not just voluntary on the teacher's part. It is also it's also intervention on the district's part when principal or the district feel a teacher needs that guidance or support. So I don't want to leave that part out.
Yes.
Any other questions? Okay. Then I have a motion by trustee Bettencourt Castaneda with a second by trustee Avalos. Please vote.
Item passes unanimously.
Item 11B is to approve the 2025 District Classified Employee of the Year qualifications and nomination criteria. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve. I second the motion.
Dr. Brady?
Yes, these next two items are just the criteria that comes from the County Office of Education. We want to get ahead and have it approved by the board so we can disseminate it. And probably somewhere around January, we'll start networking and receiving nominees for Employees of the Year.
Questions? We have a motion by trustee Bettencourt Castaneda and a second by trustee Avalos. Please vote.
Item passes unanimously.
Item 11C to approve the 2025 District Teacher of the Year qualifications and nomination criteria. Do I have a motion?
Second the motion.
Dr. Brady?
Same as the last item.
Questions? I'm supposed to ask trustee Avalos. I know. I did,
What?
but
I didn't say anything.
I know you smiled my way. I just,
Did I? Yes, ma'am. That's always smiling.
I know. So motion to approve by trustee Bettencourt Castaneda, second by trustee Avalos. Please vote.
Item passes unanimously.
Item 12, business services. 12A is a facility and safety update by Dr. Burke.
Yes, this is part of the ongoing update series that we've had since spring. And for this one, it's a little bit more information, so I've included some supporting documents for you to review. The first one is the cover page, which is just, showing one of our facilities under construction. And moving into the first information page, maintenance and operations, what do we do as our standard procedure? How do we make sure that we're keeping things safe? The first step is we do a self Williams visit, like a mock Williams visit at all our sites with our M&O department. They visit every site and look at everything that's covered in a Williams visit, which includes everything from the roof to the accessibility of books to the playground equipment and safety matters. So that's the start. We do that before the year is going. And then throughout the year, anytime anyone, we list the different people who usually do it, but anytime anyone in our district sees a problem, a work order can be generated. Our teachers can put them in directly, custodians, classified staff can put them in directly. I've had different ones put in myself. That right there is an example of when I was walking across the campus last year. I saw that, stopped, took a picture, and said, this has got to get fixed. So anytime we're seeing any safety concerns, we are calling them out and putting in the work orders and getting the work done. There's an update here on the next slide, or next page, I should say, for the district's property that was impacted by the flooding. It's basically 3 status points right now. You'll recall that the 4 schools impacted were Kimball, Palmer Way, Lincoln Acres, and Rancho, as well as the Galleria lot. The Galleria lot is a shopping center where we own a portion of that lot. And you can see in each of these, the damage is listed and the current status is listed. The damage for the 4 sites was all water induced damage. For the most part, that impacted floors, walls, cabinets, materials, and supplies. And at all 4 sites, asbestos was discovered as we were mitigating the problem. And then that asbestos was abated appropriately with the required procedure where you have state required oversight of one company watching another company remove the asbestos. So that all happened. We are 2 of the sites, Lincoln Acres and Rancho, the spaces are fully functional and back operational. The Galleria lot is repaired per the contract. The lease holder had to make that repair per the contract. And with Kimball and Palmer Way, they're very close. All the asbestos is abated. The contractor is waiting on replacement flooring for those two sites. The contractors had trouble securing it because there's only one supplier for that type of floor that we have as our standard. So they've been getting it out kind of piecemeal. As they get it, they finish a school or do as much of as they can of that school. Lincoln Acres and Rancho are complete. Kimball Palmer Way are, the contractor anticipates supply coming in within a week. And once supply comes in, it should take about 3 days per site for the rehab. So as long as supply comes in by next week, those sites should be functional within a couple weeks, definitely before, well, I say definitely, depending on when the supply comes in. Definitely before Thanksgiving break, but probably before Halloween break, those rooms will be operational. Next one is play structure challenges. Just in general, we've talked about play structures. The challenge that we have here is that they often last more than 20 years. What happens is the manufacturer stops making the parts for something from 20 years ago. They don't keep making the parts from a play structure that was bought 15 years ago. They're on to the next new, greatest, best thing that they're trying to make to sell more new whole play structures. They're not interested in selling parts and repairing them. It's, they do it for a while until then all of a sudden that structure expires and they're focusing on the newer units. When it happens, we cannot repair the play structure. We don't have the certification. We would take on liability. So if somebody were to ever get hurt on that piece of the play structure, and people get hurt on play structures and in play all the time, regardless, at any school all over the country, kids fall, kids trip, things happen. If we did not have a certified installer, we would be liable. So when a piece of a structure goes down, we have to shut that area down unless we can get exact like for like from the manufacturer. But by the time the systems fail, typically the manufacturer doesn't make that piece anymore. And buying used pieces is not advisable because, again, that liability. You'll see there, that's just a few pictures of structures that have had that happen. The blue slide with the crack, and then some of the other caution tape. You see the floorboard falling through. Luckily, though, if you look at the next page, we are, knee deep in play structure projects. Between last year and this year, we have been doing play structure after play structure after play structure, and we will keep on marching through the district until they're all updated. You'll see the ones that we've completed this year, 2 of them at Central, 2 of them at Kimball. Olivewood and Lincoln Acres have work underway, and then there's 3 on deck with Ira, Kimball, and Palmer Way with 2 more structures. So we are, we will keep on marching until we've got all the structures updated. On the next slide, you see same thing with turf fields. There's challenges and there's safety features. I'll start with the safety features. We have sand infill instead of using those little rubber pellets. If you've ever walked on one of these fields, a lot of times you end up with these little rubber things in your shoes everywhere. Exactly, they're in your car, they're in your shoes, they're in your house. We do not use those rubber pellets just to be extra secure, extra safe. We use sand instead. There is, research that suggests that the rubber pellets may break down and have chemical exposure. So we want to avoid that, and we have sand instead. We also have sports padding below the turf to provide extra safety for concussions and leg injuries or fall injuries. They're rated for 8-foot falls. And we have a good track record. We had a Radies take a look at our data from last year. We had a pilot with a couple fields. Those fields did not result in any increase in injuries or concussions in relative to other fields that we have. Yes?
Are we going to have a maintenance schedule to ensure that we're going to have them packed and also the hygiene of them as well?
Yes, David has them on a maintenance schedule, and then as far as the hygienic of it, you mean the sand, the infill can act. The whole turf fields can and are washed or hosed down, basically. We use the irrigation systems and hoses, and they are washed. You could do that for multiple reasons. You could do that for cleaning, and you can also do that for cooling. We don't have too much problems with the heat in terms of these fields. These fields do get hot. I saw a kid was burned in Barstow, I think it was Barstow or Vegas, in recent weeks because the temperature was 120 degrees and they were trying to play a game. Sounds like guys were in charge of that. I think some dads were in charge of that. But they tried to play and kids got hurt and kids got burned. We don't have that problem here, but we can cool them by hosing them down, and the sand retains the water for cool. But it's also for washing and cleaning. That addresses the heat days. So challenges of installing a turf field. It's a lot of soil removal. You have to remove from here, 10 inches of soil up to 10 inches, and there's a lot of rocks, metal, and things that over time get buried into that soil. So that all comes out. Then they level and grade for compliance, so that make sure we control our runoff and all those things that we need to do. We have to install storm drains, again, for controlling runoff and controlling where the water is going. We have to install a base layer. And then they add sand. It's kind of like the pebble story with the bird. I don't know if you know that one, but I'm sure, hopefully some of you do. But you fill, the bigger rocks go on the bottom, and you fill with sand on top. Then they put the sports pad. Then they put the turf. Then they put more sand. And then the last thing they do before they let kids go play on it is they inspect it with high power magnets to make sure any metal that is anywhere in that field, like a leftover nail or anything, they sweep the entire fields to make sure that they're safe. The seams need to be put together. They use a really strong glue tape for that, so that there's not pieces of metal or nails sticking out and things like that. So it is a very safe space to play. It is one of the other challenges that comes with that is that these are our biggest play spaces. They're huge that we're doing these. So doing them during the course of the year presents challenges at the site for orchestrating where will recess be held. Can we, do we have the capacity to account for the same amount of kids during recesses, or do we have to change how we're doing that? Do we have to move kids around and let them use different spaces? So all those things, all those solutions come together and help us get through that window of time where we're actually doing the work on the field. You'll see on the next one, we completed Kimball already this year, and Central Olivewood and Lincoln Acres are all underway. Central should be done within weeks. And then Las Palmas is, we anticipate a winter break start. So very exciting news on the turf fields and play structures. Last but not least, we've had unfortunate incidents in recent weeks of school violence. So I did want to address that today, and this safety update as well. School safety is our highest priority in National School District. It's the board's highest priority. It's the superintendent's. It's everyone here. Every employee we have, school safety is number one. This letter will be going out on Friday of this week. It is a letter from Dr. Brady to families, spelling out some of the safety steps that we've taken as a district to ensure safety is our priority and to ensure students are safe on our campuses. There are a few other items I would just, I'll give you a minute to read that one if you want to take or skim it. So you can take that letter with you. That will be going out to families on Friday. If you have any feedback in the meantime, we welcome it. And last but not least, there's 3 items that are under review for ongoing discussion. We had a keyless entry task force last year. That is still something that is under discussion, as well as cameras and panic buttons. You may have heard during the most recent school violence incident, school shooting, that panic buttons worn by employees were helpful in getting a fast response from the authority. So this is something that we've been looking at. We started looking at last year as well. But these are all very, very heavy tech components, between keyless entries, cameras, panic buttons, the tech and how they all integrate with each other and how they might integrate with any user systems is very important to have look at that in advance before you go start putting it in. So now that we have our new executive director of IT, I expect that we will be making progress on these 3 items too. It's a priority of his. He is on our safety committee and he is looking at these closely. And that is all.
Trustee Bencourt Castaneda.
I want to go back to the turf question. How did we make the decision on what turf, like design and so on? Is it just a generic, or were we able to do it something personalized to our district?
They have options for different games that can be embedded into the turf. Of course, you don't have to use it for that exact game. You can always use the spaces for anything.
Like, do we get our district logo?
Oh, okay.
Or anything like that? Were we able to do something personalized?
No, not in terms of a logo into the turf, but that's an interesting idea. Kind of like the football fields have the big thing in the middle. That's an interesting idea of how we could integrate something like that into our turf. But no, there is not something, but we do have that kind of branding and labeling in the cafeterias, the NPR spaces. Yes, we'll look into it, see what the cost is, and see if that's an option, because it would be cool. I'm definitely in favor.
Okay, thank you. All right, Trustee Lizarraga.
Thank you. Well, I can see as we commute in the community a lot, I see the progress and the safety. I forgot fencing. We are covering the surroundings, the ground, but how about the sky? There's several people in the past are asking me, when are they going to put shades? Some of course do their job and getting into our kids, but I don't know if it's on the radar for probably next.
Yeah, it varies by school in terms of the need, in terms of what they might have a need for and how much shade they already have. Some of them have a lot of natural shade, trees and so forth, and then there are other sites that we are recognizing that have that need. We recently put shade tables in all the sites, the solar tables. Not a ton of them that's going to cover a whole bunch of kids, but we're doing it, as we can, one by one. There is an item you'll see in the next item, I believe, or one after that, where Kimball is putting in a large shaded area that we're going to go out to bid for to make sure that they have a large area on their playground where there can be shade, because they don't have a lot of trees and natural shade in their facility. So that is the plan, to continue to analyze the shade availability and identify needs and bring shade structures to them, like we're doing to Kimball in this upcoming board item.
Yeah, thank you. The Hollywood school, it's well protected now because I see people that's there, and those individuals, you don't know what their intentions are. There are kids, and that is on the safe side of the parent when they commute too, because they got on both sides there's cover now, which is really great. I appreciate it, and we can see the changes in there. So Central is the same thing. They was covered, and people go around and see. In regards just a extra safety precaution in the window, you can see the green fence covered with it. I think it's kind of a material that is not seen, like they're really seen.
The vinyl and the chain link.
The line.
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes, thank you.
So can I add to that? That is something where David Castillo has gone and walked to see which fences we wanted to add that additional, like kind of a covering so that you can't see through the chain link. One of the things that we were talking about is if somebody is hovering behind the fence, now that you've covered it from them looking in, it prevents you from also being able to look out. And then also adding a lot of plastic to our fences when we are working on our sustainability. We're looking at items that are more sustainable to put into the chain link and maybe offer some ability for us to see who might be coming around the fence, but not necessarily be able to come up to the fence and talk to our students. And so we're balancing that and working on those currently.
Yeah, thank you.
I have a question regarding this certification for modifying the structures. Is that something that MNO could get, or is that certification that they can't have because we don't work for that company?
We don't. It is attainable, but we're finding, you can get those certifications because the contractors that do our installations have them. But what we're finding is that it doesn't seem like it's worth having those certifications, because by the time it fails, it's either warranted, so still under the installer's warranty, or we can't find the replacement parts, so there's nothing to install. That's what we found in my time here. Every time something breaks, we look for it, and we cannot find it.
And a second part for that, so just being honest, some of our playgrounds have been eyesores for a little while. And I know that part of that whole process for us has been the bonds that take time to go through, and the permitting that we must do even to just break down the play structure before we ever look into buying a new one and permitting to get it and then doing that construction. I understand all those pieces, but how can we be more fluidly, smoothly responsible with structures and not have them sit for 3 or 4 years either unusable or with broken pieces? I mean, I can see when I drive by Las Palmas every time, I can see that we have had to barricade and take off the slide. You'd be like, we can't, and you can see that. And so what can we do to make that a more fluid process? Because it also means our kids don't have the play structures. You know what? There has to be something that we can do better with that. I'm not sure that you can have an answer tonight, but how can we do that better for our kids?
For one, I think maintenance schedules are key. And I some of it is, it's hard to say because, I don't know how long different structures have been out. I've been here a year, 15 months or 16 months, but I know that, they're at the end of their life, and when they start going, I think what happened probably is a lot of them were installed pretty close to the same time, kind of like is happening now. We're installing a lot of structures the last couple of years, and there are a lot on deck. I think it's maintenance and shelf life and making sure that we're really intentional about it. In terms of speeding up the process of the ones that are non-functioning right now, the process is the process. We're doing what we can to acquire the funding to get out there. ELOP has been very helpful because we do use those spaces before and after school and for a lot of extended learning in summer and breaks. So that's been very helpful in providing funds that we could use to help advance some of those structures. But absence of funds, those are new funds. Those come in the past couple of years. So, over the last 20 years, there hasn't been a lot of money for that type of resource. And so that we're lucky we have it now and we're using it. But, maintenance schedule is the one thing I can say and point to, and making sure we're on top of warranties.
And if I could add to that, you're absolutely correct in that this is a communication piece to make sure that people understand why is my play structure or my playground, sitting there, and I'm seeing others around the district being upgraded. And there's a couple of things that maybe we could communicate out even better. One, when I was a principal in another district, and I know the same was true here, replacing a play structure at a school site was part of the school budget. And our PTAs would raise money to contribute to replacing the play structure. And when a play structure is 400,000 and there's 3 or 4 of them at a school, no PTA can raise $1 million to replace the play structures. So we are very lucky with the ELOP money that we've been getting and the bond that this board supported to be able to get the money to be able to improve our playgrounds. But again, you know, you've been part of this bond process. It's multiple steps. The reason some schools have gotten play structures before Las Palmas, the example you gave, is because they were able to replace the play structure on the exact footing that the previous play structure was on. That is allowable through DSA. Dr. Burke was able to use a piggyback bid to buy the playgrounds, and then we only had to go out to do the install for the installation. At a couple of schools, I think you mentioned Olivewood, Las Palmas, the play structures are so far in the back and they're right up against the street that we felt that if we're going to replace the play structure, it might be a good time to move the location. And so when you start looking at redesigning the location, that opens up the path of travel. And so therein lies the next item coming up, or 2 items from now, the $18 million of bond dollars that will go to path of travel. So for all of those play structure upgrades, playground upgrades, we have to do all of the path of travel from every classroom to those new accessible playgrounds. And so some of the schools that might need it the most are actually down the list because we're waiting for the bond dollars because we have to do accessibility projects in conjunction with replacement of the play structure. And again, I think this goes back to how can we maybe do that communication better? And I think doing maybe some going on the road with the bond once we have that approval and we start selling the bonds and we start seeing that maybe going out to the different schools. I'll be doing coffee chats. And maybe Dr. Burke can join me at the coffee chats and we could talk about the bond projects and what's happening at your school, what's in store for your school, what's the timeline. I think that would be a great topic that everybody would be interested in. So anybody on the board who would like to join us, let us know. 2 board members max per meeting, but we'll be going to all 10 schools. Love to have you.
Trustee Lozada?
Thank you. That my observations from this presentation is the same related to what you were saying. Thank you, Dr. Brady. It's about staff flexibility and patience. I think really appreciated, but on your letter says input on ideas on how we continue to improve safety of schools. This is all about safety of everybody that is in school. But if someone, I know if you've been instructed in the letter, your input is appreciated, and how is the best route to get that input to you or to Dr. Burke. So that's what are the plans now to open up these discussions to the families, because this is directly to the families. Just want to see what is in the forecast to the parent engagement on this part.
I think the tour that Dr. Brady just suggested is a great vehicle, but I think we can also put out additional. We've been talking about when some of the projects start coming online with both bond and ELOP this year, that we want to start advertising those your bond dollars and ELOP dollars at work, kind of showing people what the impact of their votes is having and the impact of the board's votes. And so between visiting schools for coffee chats and getting more signage out there, additional letters, I think that is the path of communication.
And maybe even a slideshow as you come in the office, showing
yes.
some pictures and a few slides of what's coming.
Are you planning to present on a DLAC or DBAC? I'm not sure. Just to
Absolutely.
Yeah, that sounds great. And as well as roundtables.
Okay, thank you. And the PTA, of course. Well, just to mention some of them.
I have one last piece for me. The recent school shootings. This is something that every district, every school site, we need to figure out how. And my wording is like running through my brain right now, so please forgive me if I word this poorly. Student safety is absolute priority. There may be some things that are uncomfortable for us to do. We, back when Sandy Hook happened, I remember very clearly that Las Palmas, where my kids were at the time, turned around, and the next thing I knew, that you no longer could walk through the office, like the gates, the fences went up at the office quickly. It was one of our responses. People didn't like it because they liked being able to walk past. They liked being able to not have to go into the office to get permission to go through. They liked not having to get checked. And then we've built up some of those safety protocols over the years, including, if you want to come to our schools, you are absolutely welcome to do so. But know that we will ask for you to sign in. We will ask for your driver's license or some form of appropriate identification so that we have record, for one, of who's on campus. So if there's an emergency, we look for you. But two, to know that the person who is entering our school and being near all of our students, your students, is appropriate to be there. People didn't necessarily like that. There are things that, with the school shootings that are happening too regularly, that aren't always comfortable. We don't necessarily like knowing that there are cameras around, and yet cameras are often what helps us see what's going on. I guess we need to be figuring out how to collaboratively seek our students' best, our families' best, our teachers' best, our staff's best when it comes to this. And so I would say that as a board for this particular issue, we are seeking wisdom. And I don't want to ever be accused of us dragging our feet when it comes to this issue. I don't know what that all looks like. But I cannot, in good conscience, say that there might not be some uncomfortable next steps too. It's not a driver's license. I know not everybody gets excited about having cameras at the school site. But is it best? I don't know. We need wisdom. Please, this is one area where community, family, employees, please speak to us about this one. Anyway, any other thoughts or input? Dr. Brady.
I just wanted to add that our tech department, since I've been superintendent, has done a great job rolling out our one-to-one technology and really bolstering, student learning in a virtual space or digital space. And they got us through COVID. They've done a lot to keep us safe online. These things that we've been kind of talking about in task force are really, like Dr. Burke said, very heavy on technology. Security cameras being one. Locking doors with keyless entry, another. And now the new panic buttons, a third. When Dwayne Cossey, our executive director of informational technology, started with us, the first thing we were doing at that time was setting our committees for this year. And he said, I'd really like to be on the safety committee, please. And he does bring knowledge of this type of technology, which is emerging and something that is new to us as a district. So we can arrange a meeting where he can do a presentation. He is going to start a task force. We've already talked to him about that, and he will be inviting parents also to be part of that task force. Because parents have ideas and have been reaching out to us with some of the things that they would like to see in schools to keep their children safe as well. So maybe in our November meeting or in our next October meeting, we can kind of have him come and share some of the things that are out there and some of the things that we're exploring, maybe what the initial plan is, and then report back after the task force has a chance to meet, if that would be helpful.
And thank you for that. Item 12B is to approve project assignments for architectural and engineering services. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second the motion?
Dr. Burke?
Yes, you may recall from last spring, SGPA, our architectural firm that we contract with, came and presented on what the plans might look like, and now here you see the project assignments for the architecture or engineering.
So this is Travis that's logging in just in case the board has any questions, but he was able to cost out these plans that you have seen, that you had a presentation on before, and we are able to afford the plans with our $18 million. So we'd like to go ahead and formally approve those plans tonight. And if you have questions, Travis is just in the background. He was traveling, but he joined because this is very important. He spent a lot of time with these plans and can speak to them if you have any questions. Hi, Travis.
Hey there.
Any questions from the board? This looks like it may be a quick call for you.
Well, I have to say, I've been watching and listening in, and I do have security contacts. It is something that I take very seriously. I have a 4-year-old daughter, and it scares me to have to think about those things. So your words hit home, and I can touch base and give my contacts to Dr. Brady and Ryan, the task force that's being put together. They're security consultants, and this is what they focus on, both environmental as well as methodologies of protection and training.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? All
We're
right.
happy to hear the suggestions and contributions to this. Thank you, Trey.
Well then, I have a motion to approve by trustee Bettencourt Castaneda and a second by trustee Lizarraga. Please vote.
Item passes unanimously.
Thank you, Travis.
Thank you all.
Thanks.
Item 12C is to adopt resolution 24-25.13, authorizing issuance of bonds in the amount of $18 million. I'm sorry, I want to make sure I read that correctly. That is the number of zeros. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
The second the motion?
Dr. Burke?
Yes, we just approved plans for approximately $18 million worth of work, and the bond has $18 million remaining that can be sold in Series C. This would approve that work and begin that process.
Any questions from the board? Dr. Brady?
I just wanted to add that Dr. Burke did an excellent job talking with Moody's, who gives our bond rating. We tag teamed it, but it was he did a really, really nice job setting the stage on our finances and gave them a lot of confidence in our district, and we maintained our AAA 3 rating, and that should help save the taxpayers of National City a really nice chunk of money through lower interest rates. So we're super excited about that.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Awesome.
All right, I have a motion to adopt resolution 24-25.13 by trustee Bettencourt Castaneda and a second by trustee Lizarraga. Please vote.
Item passes unanimously.
Item 12D, to authorize the Assistant Superintendent of Business Services to advertise for projects at various school sites. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
I second the motion.
Dr. Burke?
Some exciting projects on the horizon. El Toyon will be receiving an outdoor learning center. There's a space right near the office that's perfect for it. Kimball, we have the play structure coming in, outdoor seating area, and then the canopy, the shade canopy is supposed to be provide shade for 40 to 50 people. So that should be very nice. Olivewood, new basketball courts with blacktop replacement. So exciting projects.
Any questions? I have a motion to authorize by trustee Avalos, a second by trustee Lizarraga. Please vote. It disappeared. Trustee Avalos?
I keep pressing it because it doesn't go to say yes, that's why.
There we go. Thank you. Okay. Great. Thank you.
Like went on.
Item passes unanimously.
Item 12E, to adopt resolution 24-25.09, authorizing participation in the EdTech Joint Powers Authority program. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second the motion.
Dr. Burke?
Yes, this provides us access to a kind of a league of districts that are making similar purchases, and it gives us access to a variety of piggyback contracts that they all are sharing with each other. So it's a good collaborative group that we would be a part of, led by our IT executive director, Dwayne Crossan.
Any questions? I have a motion by trustee Bettencourt Castaneda, a second by trustee Lizarraga. Please vote.
Item passes unanimously.
Item 12F, to adopt resolution 24-25.14 for emergency waiver public project. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
I second the motion.
Dr. Burke?
Yes, this is the follow-up to the one we had the special board meeting regarding for Cal OES, the Office of Emergency Services. This resolution is with and for the County Office of Education to provide that same permissions.
Any questions? I have a motion by trustee Bettencourt Castaneda and a second by trustee Lizarraga. Please vote.
Item passes unanimously.
That brings us to board cabinet communications. Trustee Sarmiento.
I'd like to say thank you to everyone for all of your support, for the cards, the flowers, the positive thoughts, the prayers. I'm just feeling a little bit emotionally fragile these days, but I just want to say thank you.
Trustee Avalos.
Let me see. I am so proud of our students who gave us a great report. And they're only in the 4th grade. And their pronunciation of words are excellent, better than mine. Even when I try to say something, I didn't even know how to say Dina in English. How do you say that? Anybody know here? Oh, tub. I should have known that. I thought about tub, but then I thought about taking a bath in a tub. But anyway, you're absolutely right. Thank you. I was very impressed by them, and their vocabulary is absolutely great. Hopefully that the parents are, I know they're proud of them, but they will get a tub in their backyard or on their balcony and continue having them grow, not only fruit, but maybe flowers as well. So I think it's great. And I know that you're part of the Olive, right?
Olive Gardens.
Olive Gardens, and I think that's great that you're doing that. And our children go over there to see things as well. And I know there's one in the side of Kimball School, which I've been there several times myself. And I think it's great that the parents are learning to grow, like I said, tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, bell peppers, everything. And I want to thank Johnny, our volunteer, that they're being seen all through our schools and doing a great job. And of course, our custodian, my goodness, 20 years. He's been here for 20 years. I think that's amazing that he has stayed with us and doing a great job. And of course, I want to thank Mr. Burke for giving us a review of what's going on in our schools. I think our playgrounds are excellent. And I am very, very impressed, even by the one by, I think it's our Harbison, my goodness gracious. In the back, it's wonderful. And other schools that I've seen on the playgrounds, whoever designed them, and you were part of it, I'm sure, did a wonderful job. And I want to thank you for all your work. It's a lot of work and a lot of planning. So that's about it. Everybody have a good night, and I'm glad to be back for another meeting. 2 more meetings, 3 more meetings left. Thank you.
Trustee Button Castaneda.
Thank you. I'd like to welcome everybody back from the fall break. Hopefully everybody had a restful break and ready to tackle on another, I guess to say, couple of weeks before we head out for Thanksgiving, because I know from now on until winter break, it's going to go by really fast. So put your running shoes on because it's going to go by really fast. I wanted to congratulate our students from El Chillon for a wonderful presentation. As previously mentioned, they did a phenomenal job. I didn't believe they were 4th graders, and I was questioning when they were so tiny, but the way they presented themselves were amazing. I do look forward to see them when they are in 6th grade and when they are in student roundtable. So I look forward to that. And they mentioned about the gardens, and they thanked us for that. So I know that was something that wasn't always supported, but I am thankful that this board is continued and move forward with ensuring that we had those at every school site. So they are definitely being utilized, and I appreciate the upkeep at all of our school sites, because they're definitely utilized and they are learning from those gardens at all of our sites. Congratulations to Johnny. Like I said, he's everywhere. And so it is very well deserved, as he mentioned, because he definitely does do a lot. I did not know that that was his mom. Claudia was his mom. I know he may have mentioned it, but I didn't really connect it. He would say, my mom, but I didn't connect it. So it makes sense that he is much of a volunteer, just like his mom. So a big congratulations to both of them. I would also like to congratulate and recognize Don Jesus Valdez for his dedication. It looks like he definitely takes his job very serious and is very dedicated. It's very obvious when she mentioned about him coming in ahead of time to ensure he kind of took a look at the school to ensure kind of he knew what he was in for. So that's what you call a very dedicated employee. So that's amazing. So good for him. And they're lucky to have him at that school site, or any school site is lucky to have him. And I would like to welcome all of our new employees to the NSD family. And happy belated birthday to President Gates. I know we said it at a previous meeting, but you weren't here, so I wanted to say happy belated birthday. Thank you, Dr. Burke, for your presentation, and also to your team for all their hard work. I know you're here tonight presenting, but I know you have a big team behind you, working their tail off to get everything to where it is. It's walking the field and seeing all the work done and just seeing all the pictures. It's amazing. To be a kid again, right? To be able to be out there and to play and be on the fields, and it's just amazing to be able to be a part of that. So thank you for all of that. My condolences to you, Alma, and your family. My heart goes out to you. I can't imagine what it is to lose a child. So my heart goes out to you. Big hug. And as I previously mentioned, I officially have sent my child off to college. So I am officially a duck mom and a San Diego State mom. So pray for me. With that being said, everybody have a wonderful night. And hug your family tighter than you have ever done, because you never know. Tomorrow's never promised. Have a good night.
Trustee Lizarraga.
Thank you, President Gates. Well, what a way to start the fall winter season with this presentation. As everybody was saying, that there was an amazing presentation from them and how empowered they are, being such a little, in that little body, how much it fits in that little brain. And it's very encouraging to see that we're not here only learning, they're learning from adults, but we are also learning from the students and how they can dream about it, fight for the goals and analyze data and think about greenhouse emissions and methane and what it impacts our environment. I was very surprised to learn from them more. And you can see how our decisions here impacts that mindsetting of environmental care when we decide for an organization to collaborate with the students. Is this on this finance implementation of programs? We're very proud about it, to say that all organizations that are around our community, is that what it takes to make it in action. And did you see the results? And we witnessed it today, how well they are, how well prepared they are, how well empowered our students to step up and say, I can do this. And we're very proud of that too. So for that being said, the new family members, which is the new employees, chef kudos to them, because they step up and say, I want to be part of that. And that stands out. There were 6 of them today, or 5, that they're stepping in, and I wanted to welcome them to our family. I want to apologize publicly because I said Palmer Way, because I had the going out, because we thought Mr. Denegri was in there for a long time, and Ms. Rosa, the psychologist, I just totally forgot that my prior psychology was just stepping in and do the work, and she has a lot of work now, and this is actually a big school. So I'm happy that, I'm assuming that Mr. Denegri pulled her out to him. So she's an amazing psychologist. So I want to give kudos to her. So the same way goes to Mr. Casero. As I said, there's a characteristic of a shy people. They're very loyal, and you can see that, and very dedicated. So congratulations to this honoring to him. I seen him around, and it's so quiet, the same as he did today. And Johnny on the other side is like chatting all over, and he connects with people, and that's powerful. And I would like to thank personally myself for the empathy that you showed me for the last 3 weeks for the loss of my family, and it's very impactful on everyone. And I just can thank you enough to do that. And that is a natural way, but it hurts. But we need to let go and keep moving on, because we have a commitment in this life, and this is what we're meant to be. Someday we're going to be there. I want to say thank you to everybody for showing empathy to me and my family. And I want to give a shout out to everybody's engaged in our Case Education, especially the ones that are contacting directly to the students, and the instructional assistants, healthcare, safety campus supervisors, and also the people who's in the buses all the time with the kids. They're doing an amazing job, and I can see every single time that a bus passes by, the bus driver is looking back to check, even though they're already checked that they're safe. And I want to bring that keep kudos to them because they connect. I can see the campus supervisors are on top of them, assisting them with their needs, having a crisis intervention. All those things are directly connected to them. And that's teacher support on its finest. So I'll let you shout out their work. And for that being said, thank you for empathy again. Well, I was very grateful for receiving flowers, receiving phone calls, text messaging. So that means a lot to me. Thank you. Have a good night.
Dr. Burke.
Yes, just I want to echo the sympathy to our trustees who experienced personal loss. It is devastating, and I'm here for you any way I can be, but I am sorry to have your experience. I do want to also say thank you very much for the compliments regarding the conditions of the fields, the work that we're doing. That needs to certainly be shared, as you mentioned, with David Castillo as our lead MNO director, does a phenomenal job and does have a big role in helping design what will be where. And the whole team. Every time we're doing a little bit of work, that whole team is there, making sure that the kids are safe whenever big things are moving. So it's a great team, and they're doing a great job of making a change and making a difference and keeping everybody safe at the same time. So I'm very proud of them. Other than that, go Pots.
Dr. Brady.
Well, I just want to start my comments with condolences as well. You shouldn't have to ever go through those losses, especially of a child, of a sibling. I give you both a lot of credit. You're very strong women in your homes. People look to you for guidance and leadership. And, you know, when it's your turn to need strength and support, know that you have your National School District families behind you. We're here for whatever you need, like everybody's been saying. I too was very taken in with the student presenters tonight. I think it was a great representation of just the growth of our students, but also the conditions that the board has set to allow that kind of learning to happen. Without your approvals, we can't put in those gardens. We can't have the programming in our LCAP, for Ocean Connectors, Olivewood Gardens and Learning Center, BCK. All of those lead to that kind of learning. And you know, it's not just them reading a script. You know, the inflections of some of the things they really wanted us to know and do really did shine through that presentation. It is that time of the year to apply for the Green Ribbon Award for the state of California. As you remember last year, we got the silver level award, only one of 3 districts in all of San Diego County to receive that award. We missed the gold level by 1 percentage point. So we're pouring over the application, and we have a lot of great new things that are happening in our district that we think can really enhance that award. So stay tuned. We'll find out sometime in the spring. It's due in the beginning of November, so if I don't answer the phone at night, I'm probably working on that. Yeah, working on that. It's a pretty big application. I just wanted to also comment on the fields. You know, the sustainability that goes into that is part of that Green Ribbon Award, but it's also creating another goal for what the board has set for us, and that's to increase outdoor recreation for our students. We've always had big open spaces and we've always encouraged outdoor play, but by putting in such amazing fields and pickleball courts and kickball fields and soccer fields, we have now really enhanced our REACH participation. And if you remember back to May, we had 776 students attend the REACH program from 2022-2023. And in 23-24, that went up to 1,157. So that's because the students see the programming that you have approved and see the fields that you're promoting, and they want to be there after school. We went from our enrichment programs after school from 145 in 2022 to 2023 to 332 additional students who just stay for the enrichment. And those are things like garden clubs and coding and art and theater and music, in addition to the sports, the competition. So we'll continue to work on that, continue to grow those programs. And we hope to see our board members at the annual Salute to Navy. That's coming up on October 17th at 10:30 in the morning. It will be at the Coronado Beach Harley-Davidson dealership. And if you are interested in attending, just reach out to Jocelyn and Vanessa and they'll get you registered. Happy belated birthday publicly. I know it was in the minutes that we wished you happy birthday, but you weren't here to hear it. So happy belated birthday to you. Early birthday to Trustee Betancourt Castañeda. And go Padres.
We were under strict orders to not have anyone texting remotely, possibly, so that Dr. Burke did not get his Padres game ruined.
And the spoilers.
So, anyway, you anticipated my safety concerns beautifully. And so thank you very much for the presentation that you gave to us on that. That is always a high concern, and safety is everything, like you said, from making sure that cracks are taken care of so we aren't tripping through to being able to identify shooters on campus, which we wish we did not have to have that as a concern, but it is all those things. So thank you for the presentation. I also want to, Mr. De Jesus, I don't know if any of you have seen him also at El Toyon. That parent volunteer hit me up with a PTA envelope faster than I could even say sorry. He is on it. He is absolutely committed. And so as a follow-up to that, if you have not yet signed up for your PTA, please check in at your school site and do so. They need your presence, they need your voice, they need your support. Liam, I have to specifically speak to you and mention, I have never thought of worms as pets, but you stood up there and told us that you feed your pet worms on campus, and now I'm going to have to think about the fact that because you take care of them, because you feed them, because you make sure that they have what they need, I guess worms can be pets as well. I won't be getting any. But Sophia, Leah, Montserrat, and Anthony, thank you for being present tonight. I want to also thank Olivewood. I got to be present at that school site not long ago before break. And also Central, I got to see 6th grade camp students leaving from Central. That was very cool, and I was kind of jealous because they're getting that opportunity, and it's fabulous. I want to thank district staff as well for welcoming me on a visit around the district office. I didn't know we had such a big freezer. It's the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
And I want to acknowledge our custodians. We had 2 here tonight, one as employee of the month and another as a new full-time. They do so much, but I want to acknowledge the bravery of our day custodians in trying to keep up with everything that they are asked, to anticipate needs, to provide services, and to occasionally be called on because a child has gotten sick in the middle of a classroom, and they handle all of it with grace, with speed, with thoroughness. We are thankful for you. And with that, Dr. Burke, you'll have to see how the Padres did.
Did?
I don't know. I don't know. I was in a board meeting.
I think Ms. Trustee Lasada has one more thing.
Oh, no, I need to invite people. Oh, yes. Stay
Okay.
tuned after the gobble sound because we have cake for you. For your birthday. So we invite everybody.
Okay, well.
Come on, we want cake.
Just kidding. Continued prayers. Yes.
In our hearts.
Both of them, I miss. Yeah, see now.
And with that, we are adjourned.